seen in a short period of time because we've had some bangers lately. This is Flamingo Fight Talk. I am your host today, Kelby Cedarquist, and with me is my partner, Derek Schramm.
Yo yo, how you doing, buddy? Happy Monday. It was a fun weekend. A lot of fights during it.
Yeah, lots and lots of fights. It was one of those.
You
Just
checking the feed? You want me to talk?
no. Oh, I was just pulling up my notes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're so basically let's get right into it. We're coming off of UFC 328, Shemaev versus Strickland, where he did it again, buddy. He did it again. John Strickland, two two-time middleweight champion, doing the impossible. The first time he did it, he beat Izzy. It was like he was a plus 700 underdog, and this time he beats Boers at plus 400, I believe, something at the end of the day. So, we're doing sunglasses.
I'm putting the
So yeah,
sunglasses on.
absolutely, just absolutely, great win. A little, not the most exciting fight. Let's be honest. We know how that is, but it was a good fight nonetheless. A little bit controversial with the scoring. I know a couple little controversies on this card. Hopefully, we can get into that because there's a lot to talk about. But
Mm-hmm.
Kelby, let's start here. How did you feel about the main event?
Oh, I felt actually kind of very much exactly what we were predicting this whole time. Either A, we were predicting Hamzat's going to get it done, get it finished real quick, fast, in a hurry. Or B, Hamzat's going to have a rough weight cut, which he has had every single time. People are acting like they've never seen Hamzat have a crazy weight cut. This happens every single time. But after we start getting into those later rounds, we start getting into that third, fourth, fifth round, you start noticing a different Hamzat. But I do have a round by round notes for this. But
Okay.
it definitely, I don't even know where I was going with that, but we had two different positions on this fight, and the second
Yeah.
outcome really came across with more of a Strickland decision or a Hamzat win by submission early on, and it turned out to
Yeah, I
be
think
Plan
that's
B.
where
Well, a
I
lot of
think
people
that's where
were.
most people were pretty much decide on. It's like it's either going to be Strickland getting it done, and
Hmm.
hey, that first round absolutely he took him down, and yeah, no, put Strickland in some danger there throughout,
Yeah.
and again, it was a good fight, back and forth, close on the scoring. So you said you took it round by round. So how about you lead the way there while I pull up my notes?
Yeah. I'm gonna have my phone out, guys, just because it's a lot of notes to remember round by round. So just be with me. I think you guys will be okay with that. Um, Hamzat dominated early in the first round with takedowns. He got a lot of back control, hunting for a rear naked choke during the first round. And Strickland survived the storm, but offered very little offense. Second round, Strickland adjusted to stuffing two takedowns. Shemaev um, prepping Shemaev with his jab and winning and for me, he won round two. Round three, okay, Shemaev round one, Strickland round two. Round three, entirely on the feet, which I did not expect that in this fight for a whole round to be just on his feet.
Yeah.
Strickland outlanded Shemaev 43-29 in this round for significant strikes. Shemaev notably did not attempt a single takedown. So very simple, straightforward round. We all saw it. Round four, Shemaev rallied with a second wind, which was kind of surprising for me. Landing some good, heavy, right hand, securing a late takedown. That's where I think they even the scorecard out was. So easy 2-2
Yeah.
right there. Round five, a grueling final frame. Both men traded jabs, while both of them were definitely exhausted.
Yeah,
Strickland
they definitely
repeatedly,
gapped out there.
yeah, Strickland repeatedly scrambled back. Um, and then he ended up getting some damage scrambling back. He did that most like the jab, and then throw two here and there. And I think he just got secured that very narrow win. Scorecards 48-47, 47-48, and 48-47. It's honestly what I expected from the scorecards was a split decision win. And we got that.
So it's funny because you said we all saw in the round three, and like hey, I scored it basically the same way. We both scored same, but yeah. So the main swing round is
Mhm.
round three, and I see a lot of people even arguing round five as well for Kamzat. It's basically saying Kamzat won round one, and like that's the thing. I see some people basically saying, oh, you could have scored it 4 rounds to one, and like that's true because basically rounds one and two were the dominant rounds. One for Kamzat, one for Strickland, and the other three were very close. To be fair, um, kind of my general takeaways was in round one, Kamzat showed like you are going to get taken down when you fight him in round one. He is just that good, and his ability to ride the top, no matter where you go, just consistently like getting up, putting you back down, keeping the top position no matter how you roll. He is maybe the best at that, but. And you're going to talk about the weight cut. Maybe it's the weight cut. Maybe he was pacing himself, but he put no damage on Strickland. There was,
Mhm.
Strickland didn't get any shots out, but like, Combs out, he basically rode the top the entire fight or the entire first round, and then just didn't get any damage on. Just completely went for the submission. And
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to submit a guy like Sean Strickland without putting some ground and pound on first. Like, and again, maybe he just wasn't going to be able to hold Strickland down. Maybe he was pacing himself and didn't want to gas in the first round, but he ended up gassing in the first round anyways, and was pulling guard in the second round. I think honestly, here I actually wrote it down. Eric Nixick, Sean's coach, I think he kind of said, "Hey, we knew this was going to happen. This was Combs at his best. Mind your geography. And put some damage on him. Don't get back up to the past the lines towards the back of the cage, and you know do it." And then yeah, he saw that second round, and frankly, Strickland kind of kicked his ass in that round.
Oh, very much
Um,
so.
and frankly, if he pushed the pace there, he might have actually gotten a finish there. But
Yeah.
he let him kind of get back in there. But so you get round one and two. I hated, and I know so much is going to be talking about the weight. I hate the excuse making for the weight cut because, like, I know there's a lot of talk about him moving up, and I guess he will, and we can talk about that later. I don't think Kamzat's so big for the weight class. I think he's just ballooning up too big in between fights. He doesn't have the frame of a 205er. So I
No.
think he's going to have the same issues at a heavier weight, even if it's just his walk-in weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so round three, back and forth. Obviously, this is the swing round. In real time, I definitely scored it for Strickland. If I put the stronger, better damage on, and this is why it's the string on. This round three is where Kamzat actually broke Strickland's nose.
Yeah.
So if you're going to look at the damage of the round, Kamzat definitely did more damage in round three to Strickland, but the way Strickland fights, it looked like Strickland won round three. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because of the way he works. That's why I think all of us scored it for him, and why so many other people are like, no, it's about damage, blah blah blah. And because Strickland backs up, he throws the jab and the weird. He wasn't throwing the teeps or the leg kicks this fight, probably because he didn't want to get taken down. But yeah, it became just in the back half, just a jab fest. And honestly, I want to shout out Chuck Mendenhall
Okay.
because he said it on Crowned and on Morning Combat. I think he's pretty right on this. We kind of have our perceptions of how this fight was going to go. That if it was on the feet, it would be Strickland's fight, and if it was on the ground, it'd be Kamzat's fight.
Yeah.
And then we got a situation where, okay, we're in Strickland's fight, round three, like you said, not even one takedown attempt.
No.
But while we're fighting Strickland's game, Kamzat was winning the game by putting the stronger shots on there. He was actually able to get the lead. Neither one guy got the right hand moving, was really landing, but Kamzat was able to get a few of those left hooks going in there. And, I think he carries a stronger jab, whereas Strickland was working more.
Yes.
Going into round four, Kamzat definitely comes back and gets, like you said, gets that second win and did good in that round. And then yeah, round five is another round where people I see some people arguing it for Shemaev. I think Sean just easily outworked a more like both guys were gassed, but Kamza was clearly more gassed in that fifth round. I don't give the takedown in that round any points other
No.
than just changing the position. And I know like that's one thing where people are like the takedowns are damaged just because you take the guy down. Yeah, that's controlling, but if you don't inflict on that, you know what I mean? Just getting the takedown when it's even on the feet doesn't do anything. You
No.
just change the position of the fight.
One thing I will say, I do want to reel it back a little bit.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
did mention it earlier with the weight cuts in Hamzat. One key thing that's interesting in Hamzat's case, Hamzat is at what you consider, I feel like everybody considers Stu at the top of his game, at one of his highest points in his level in fighting, UFC professional
Hmm.
career. Hamzat barely fights 2 times a year if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Hamzat has a very, very big breaks in between. When you have very, very big breaks in between fights, that's a lot of water weight built up into your system.
Hmm.
And because he takes so long in between these fights, he's starting to get a little bit more up in age. It's he was able to get down to 170 earlier on in his career. Now fighting at
Yeah.
185, he's starting to struggle with that, which is kind of mind blowing. He's struggling. He almost struggled more at 185 than cutting back down to 170. Yes, he did miss the weight cut
Yeah.
that weight one time really badly, but a mixture of taking off of so long in between fights, getting up in age. Not saying he's old, but older you get,
Hmm.
the harder it'll always be to do those extreme weight cuts. And I had a third point, and I just said it, and I drew a blank on it. But
No,
it's it's a,
I
it's a
hear
mixture
you,
of
and
things.
like maybe I'm being a little bit of a hater. I don't think he's that big. I think Sean
No,
Strickland looked like the bigger fighter in there. I
yeah,
don't. He already had to move up, and like the way people are talking about it's like I feel like it's an excuse.
yeah.
I feel like it's an excuse. Maybe he's overtraining. You know, maybe it's that like, you know, there could be other issues and absolutely
Oh,
he
that's
did a
the other
big
thing.
weight
The
cut.
overtraining. Yes, that's right.
R-
Hamzat has every single person has ever fought in his training camp or has ever been around Hamzat says Hamzat
Yeah.
overtrains. That's always been a thing. That's nothing new.
Hmm.
Overtraining can hurt the body in very
Oh,
bad way.
and
And
you know,
honestly, that's
to be
between him,
fair,
himself, and his
overtraining
coaches.
also hurts the weight cut.
Yes,
You know, that's the biggest thing would work with that.
yes,
You know, it makes you recover worse too.
yes. It's that he's doing it to himself. Age you can't be. It's just life. And it's I don't know. Does he pull? I mean, when he all right, he's going to go move up. I think that 100% is happening.
He's moving up. He said
Yeah,
he is. Dana White blessed it. You
yeah,
know, hey, he wanted to move up already. They weren't going to let him move up after just winning the belt. He had to defend it.
yeah,
If he wants to move up, move up. I just don't think
yeah,
that was the issue with why he lost his fight.
yeah. Yes, and I think when I think of Hamzat Shemaev in the light heavyweight division,
Hmm.
it's going to be a little definitely. I know I don't even want to say it's going to be a little bit harder because I don't think that division is quite as deep.
It's
But
weak.
yeah,
This is the weak light heavyweight
yeah,
division, but Kamzat's a weight bully.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So,
He's a
and
weight
he's
bully.
not going to be able to weight bully those guys up there.
No, no, he's not going to be able to weight bully those guys, and he's not. I mean, some of the guys, yes, he might be able to run them down and do the whole
Yeah,
Hamzat Shemaev thing,
he's
flip them, and
he's always
whatever.
going to be
But
a dangerous round one
yeah,
fighter.
yes. Do you see him pulling off a performance? Like, so you do see him pulling off a performance like we just saw recently within Paulo Costa, moving up the weight class and out, actually almost looking better than he's ever has. Do we see a new
Yeah.
revival with Hamzat in that way? Not
Um.
revival because Hamzat was already up at the top, but do you see kind
Yeah.
of a same similar-ish scenario?
So you know who the person is that would be if he moves up, and especially if he starts finding success. You know who the guy is that he would be mimicking, or not
Yeah.
mimicking, but like kind of echoing here.
Yeah. All right.
Rumble.
Go ahead. Sorry, say the name again.
Rumble.
Oh, yeah, Rumble Johnson. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. He'd be
Rest
very
in
much
peace.
so.
But yeah, no, and because
Rest in
he
peace.
started as a welterweight, did well at welterweight,
Yeah,
then had to go up to middle, and then eventually went away. He went all the way up to heavyweight outside the UFC, and then came back at light heavyweight. And that guy, hey, John Jones was in the way, but John Jones, that was in the middle of his getting stripped issues. And if there wasn't for a guy named Daniel Cormier being the number two, Rumble Johnson probably would have been champion there. He just couldn't get past DC, and obviously he's passed away now, so rest in peace. But
yeah.
um, it's
Going
one
from
of those
once,
things. It's like I don't think. Look at Rumble, look at Kamzat. They don't got the same frame, man. Like
no,
Kamzat is not that big. Now, if he's basically going to pull the Frankie Edgar, because and that's kind of another one, but in reverse. Remember, Frankie started at lightweight, went down to feather, then went down to bantamweight. Kind of, it's one of those types where it's like when Frankie was technically at his best, even though it wasn't his right weight class, he was undersized at lightweight. That's where he won the belt. And yeah, he was just going in fighting at his natural weight. So maybe that's going to be what Khamzat does. Kind of like how when Kevin Holland goes in at 180, he's just going to kind of make a 10-pound cut because he's basically weighing like 225 right now, 230 from what it sounds like.
yeah,
So he makes a short cut down to 210, and then or 205, sorry, and then yeah, just kind of basically fights at his natural weight. He can't weight bully. He needs to make sure he can start doing some ground and pound. If he's and if he starts ballooning up and having issues again, like bro, he ain't holding down the top five of light heavyweight.
no, he's not.
He's not holding those guys down. And like if he doesn't get a good B game going on the feet, other than just trading jabs, he's still going to have the same issues.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, I've been reading a lot of comments. This is not on our page, but on a UFC's page and on like a lot of other higher level media pages, saying that the UFC is rigged now ever since joining Paramount. And one of the reasons is because Drickus beat Strickland. Strickland beats Hamzat. Hamzat beats um,
And
the,
Strickland, yeah, that's
the
called
whole,
MMA math.
yeah.
It's always been like that.
Yeah. I'm like, people, it's not rigged in that way. Those fighters are not,
That's so
they're not
silly.
perfectly doing that, and they're not going to
Oh,
do
there
that.
are
And those
also
people are going to
so
talk too much.
many. There are so many conspiracy theories like, oh, everyone missed weight on this card. Kamzat didn't make weight. It's like, guys, like like first of all, you realize it's the commission that weighs them, and like when these guys miss weight, the commission gets a cut of that.
Yeah,
They have every incentive, especially a champion missing weight. Do you know? Like
yeah,
he has a bigger purse, so it's like, who was it? Jeremy Stevens missed weight, so he lost 30% of his purse. 10% of that went to the New Jersey Commission.
yeah,
Kamzat, who's the champion, getting all that extra money. He misses weight. 10% of that goes to the commission. Trust me, if he missed weight, they'd be calling him on it. You know what I mean?
yeah. The other
But
thing,
go ahead.
with weigh-ins, there is the people might not realize it. They do weigh-ins that morning, usually between 8 and 10 a.m. And then
Yeah,
there's a thing called ceremonial weigh-ins. And
yeah, and
that's
there's
what you're usually seeing on TV, ceremonial weigh-ins. By that point, those fighters have already put on their 5 to 10 pounds extra of water
yeah, they're
weight.
not they're not actually weighing in there.
No, they're already overweight, all of them.
Yeah.
Unless you get heavyweights that are just naturally at like 246. But
But let's go back talking about Shemaev really quick because well, actually, okay. In the fight, anything else you really want to talk about? I really kind of want to just like sing Sean's praises in the first round. He has such an excellent ability to smother space. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I think Sean Strick, like on the ground, on the feet, he has such a control over distance and space and managing that, and like just like able to inflict his game on anyone. And like he turned, you know, the only guy that has like been able to completely just like not play Strickland's game was in recent years it was Pereira, and that's just because Pereira walked him down and knocked him out with his insane power.
Yeah.
But it's like again, like the way like just like in the first round, the way like he gave up his back, laid on top of Shemaev, and like, okay, fine, you're going to now like I'm going to give you the back, but I'm going to lay on you. So I'm going to be in the top position, putting my weight on you, and then yeah, you're going to try to choke me. I'm just going to guard this space. I'm just going to guard the space, and if Kamzat's not going to throw punches on
No.
there, if he's not going to do damage, he's going to tire himself out. And I think that's part of the reason why he got so gassed in round 2. He pulled guard on Strickland. That's
That's never
insane.
happened before. Round one, the thing that I really took away from round one with Strickland, his ability to stay calm while Shemaya
Yeah.
was smothering him. That was
Yeah.
incredible. And his ability to have amazing hand fighting abilities on while Shemaya was literally just like a blanket on him. That was
Yeah.
incredible. Within round two, like I'm just freaking having the balls to do that. Like that was just
Yeah,
insane.
well, it's because he did the shot and Strickland basically just kind of threw him down
Yeah,
and he tried to pull a guard, and that was hysterical.
yeah.
I think so. Okay, do you think there should be an immediate rematch? Kamzat was an undefeated fighter. It was a split decision. I could absolutely score it for Shemaev. I know he's moving up. There's still some talk I hear about it. I'm personally, even if he was going to stay in the division, I'm personally not interested in a immediate rematch.
For me personally, this is one of the few scenarios where the immediate rematch does not make any sense by any means. First fact, we already said it. Hamzat's going to be moving up and be kind of almost, I want to say, the division he needs to just be in, just because of all of his other issues at cutting at 170, and we've seen it again at 185. And the fact that I don't know, that's really pretty much it. And then I kind of want to see the Strickland. I don't want to see Strickland Drickus again though, but
Well, it has to be Imavov. And
yeah,
frankly, Imavov is going to probably beat him up pretty good. And then, there's also Brennan Allen, Kyle Brahalo, and Joe Pfeiffer all working their way up at the top of that division now.
yeah,
None of them have had their title fights yet. Obviously Drickus has 2 wins over Sean, so he's not going to be too far away if he can get some wins together as well.
yeah.
Anthony Hernandez definitely took a hit out of contention with Sean having just demolished him, so poor guy has to go down. But yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think Kyle Berhala might be the kryptonite to Sean. I have a feeling he might be the toughest fight, but Nasruddin Imavov's kickboxing
Yep.
is really good, and I think honestly, I think he might have been able to beat Kamzat or Strickland. I don't think it really mattered, but I'd like to see him kind of get. I think he's next for Strickland. I think that's a good fight. What do you think about Strickland? I was about to say, I'm sure Strickland will sell it, but how do you feel about Strickland basically kind of trying to walk? I gotta sell these fights. How do you feel about that? I know there's kind of the unspoken rule, like yeah, of course you're selling the fight, but you don't tell the person afterwards.
Um,
What do you think?
I think it's one of the few scenarios where the fighter just was like, "Fuck." Sorry, it should not cuss. Was like, "Dang it, I might have took this a little too far." And I think Strickland does have a big heart. Um, I I think you just ate at him a little bit, and then especially after getting a win too. But I agree with what you're
Yeah, I
saying.
mean he does this all the time, so I guess I
Yeah,
shouldn't be surprised. But like it's just kind of to me, it's like, come on, man. But we're almost. I think we pretty much talked about everything with that. But if he does move to 205, Kamzat, who would you like him to fight? I know some people are talking about Paulo Costa.
yes.
They kind of been talking back and forth. He's also having moved up recently. I think that makes some sense. Honestly, when I was first thinking about it, I'm like, who I would love? Like, let's test him right away. Put him against Khalil Roundtree. and then it's like, oh wait, they train together, and then
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and I'm like listening to it, I'm like, honestly, Khalil's the one saying like, oh man, when this guy gets a light heavyweight, we're all screwed. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I think Khalil Roundtree has if they were to actually fight, I think he has some motion for
Yeah.
Shemaev on the feet there. But you know
Well,
what? If you want to have fun, you want to see where he fits right away. Let's give him Jamal Hill,
Jamal
former
Hill makes,
champion.
yeah, former champion. Jamal Hill has, I mean, Jamal Hill's literally a true
He's
MMA
going to
mixed
bring
martial
it to
artist.
Shemaev. He is going
Yeah.
to meet Shemaev and
Yeah.
try to bang with him.
Yeah. No, he's going to bang with him, and he's pretty decent on the ground, too.
He,
I,
he's pretty decent. He's a big guy,
yeah.
Yeah, he's a dummy, but
Yeah.
so he might get caught by Shemaev in the first round. But if he makes it past that, I would absolutely make it a main event. I don't think we give Shemaev 3 round fights. I think he has to keep doing these 5 round fights here.
Oh, 100%.
The other person I thought I've been hearing people say is Jan Blachowicz. I think that's a cruel matchup because Blachowicz is just the king of making everyone look bad. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And he also has to beat. He has this Bogdan Guskov fight coming up too. But
Me, naturally, I want to see the Paulo Costa fight.
yeah,
I'd love the idea of Khalil Roundtree. I love the idea of Jamal Hill. I think those are all great ideas. First thing with Khalil Roundtree is just hyping up his friend. Like you said, he's gonna come
yeah.
to 205. Yeah, it's just hype. Khalil Roundtree is not gonna get spanked by him, but it'll be fun to see two people in the same camp fight. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill, former champ, great MMA guy, decent ground game, fun, electrifying, great striking, fun fight. Um, but he has to get out of the first round. It's going to be one of those fights again. Paulo Costa, I don't think people are going to be necessarily worried about Paulo Costa in the first round because Paulo Costa has absolute great leg kicks and he has absolute great ability on the ground. And you're not going to easily submit Paulo Costa by any means. If you're having problems with Sean Strickland, you have a problem with Sean Strickland, you're going to have a lot more nightmares with Paulo Costa. I would love to see the Paulo Costa.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with either one, Jamal Hill,
Yeah,
Paulo Costa, whoever they want to
yeah,
put with. But
yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's pretty much it for our main event, unless you got anything else.
America's on top again.
American champ is back, Sean
Yep.
Strickland. Let's see how long he can keep it this time.
Well, it's gonna be not long.
Let's move into our co-main event where Joshua Van gets the 5th round TKO over Tatsuro Taira and fight of the night for sure, fight of the year contender and maybe one of the best damn flyweight title fights there's been in, since DJ was hitting arm bars midair. Like, this was a great fight. Like, insanely good fight. Back and forth, adversity either way. Low fight IQ, high fight IQ. We got the gambit here. And you know what?
Yeah.
Bro, we both picked Tatsuro Taira,
Yes.
and we got called out in some comments
Mm-hmm.
that we were haters, blah blah blah, and like I'm like, hey, you know what? Fair play. We absolutely thought Tyra was going to get it done, and it looked like he was there for a minute,
Yes, he was.
a couple times there. It was competitive, but Joshua Van is a dog, man. He just
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, Tetsuya, he had what 9 minutes of ground control, and early on in fights, he was winning the fight when we saw the first round and a half, but then Van remained composed, stable, and eventually forced a lot of different stand up scrambles where he was just a dominant person in those scrambles. He just kept the pressure up very high, and his combinations, my
131
gosh,
significant strikes to 55.
yeah. No, it was absolutely insane. He just showed complete superior boxing, and he showed that he had a solid enough ground defensive game, and then was able to get up. And when he got up, did some beautiful exchanges, and it was just I don't want to say slugfest, but it was just a barn burner. I've used that word so many times. It's a firework of an episode, not episode, a firework of a show of a fight. In the fifth
Yeah,
round, I mean, Van dropped him with a heavy combination, forcing the referees, like to stop the fight at the end. And when that happened, I legit got up and almost like yelled because that was such a fun fight throughout.
well, I mean, and even before that, back in round three, two judges' scorecards scored it. Eric Cologne, Sal Diamato, 10-8 for Joshua Van because of the whooping he was putting on. He got the knockdown then too, and
Yep.
then he again gave him time by going for the choke,
Yeah.
going for the submission there, and then led Tyra back in the fight. Tyra comes back, wins round four. Um, on two of the judges' scorecards, Eric Cologne completely getting it wrong, giving it to Joshua Van. That was a robbery waiting to happen there.
Hmm.
But have, ooh, but yeah, and then round five, these guys get back to work, and again, I think it's a fair stoppage, a little early. I don't think there was so little time left in the fight. I think they could have let it go. It's a title fight, but at the same time, the guy's only 26 years old. He's going to get more title fights in his career. This guy is so good. Oh my gosh, Tyra is so good, and he will be back. Van is just,
Ooh.
he's so young, but man, he can't call him the best until he beats Pantoja.
No.
But oh, he might beat Pantoja like
Yeah.
fully this time. I feel like every day he's a champion, he gets better.
Oh, he's one of those guys that's definitely on the trajectory up.
Yeah.
Solid fighter. We got a lot more out of him. We're going to see so much more fun fights. Definitely the best flyweight fight of the year.
Oh, it's definitely for sure. And also, we got another great one coming up here soon. Where is it? Is it? Yeah, after the White House card. I'm trying to get the date. June 20th, we have Manel Kopp and Kyoji Horiguchi going at each other.
Yeah.
They'll probably, if Pantoja's not back by then, the winner of that probably getting the next fight against Van. And I believe Joshua Van's one loss was to Manel Kopp, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so.
No, it was to Charles Johnson. My bad. Charles Johnson,
Mm.
another guy, just absolutely great there. But Manel
Yeah.
Kopp, Horiguchi, another two excellent fighters, both from the Asian Risen champions, or Manel from Risen. Kyoji was in Bellator and other places, but
Yeah.
another. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I ain't got much else to say to that fight. It was just one of the greatest flyweight fights we've seen in a long time. One guy had better groundwork in the beginning. It had a turning point. Next guy came in, just absolutely just showed superior boxing skills against him, and he took the win overall. It was literally wild
Oh,
because right when you saw the turning point, it never looked back.
yeah, I mean it was back and forth, but I mean honestly, this is where you got to give the UFC credit. The first of all, the matchmakers for putting that fight together.
Hmm.
Putting these two young killers together. Both combined age was like 50 years old.
That's
You got
insane.
to be a little sad Japan didn't get their first UFC champion. It's amazing how they still haven't had a UFC champion.
Oh
And
yeah, that's
Cairo is
right.
definitely the best chance there. But
Yeah,
you gotta be glad for those 100K bonuses now, because these
yeah,
guys just two under 30-year-olds just got 100K in the UFC edition. Like they can you know putting that money, giving these young guys those big bonuses like this early in their career allows them to truly like, okay, I am a fighter. And obviously, yeah, Joshua Van's already a champion. Like, he's a fight. You know what I mean? Like, but
yeah.
they get to like they're young and now they're making such good money young. Hopefully they can make some smart investments and just get set up, and That's the thing that we really want to see at the end of the day. We want to see these guys get taken care of when they put on these insane fights, and absolutely great choice that these guys got the 100K.
Shout out to the 100 racks, guys. Well,
Yeah.
want me to take it off on the next fight?
Oh yeah, let's go in. A little bit of controversy on this one too. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, ish. Alexander Volkov defeats Waldo Cortez Acosta. We talked a lot about this fight, man. This is a unanimous decision. 30
I
27,
think we kind of
29
picked that.
28,
We picked
29
exactly
28.
what the issue was.
Um, Alexander Volkov, definitely I'd say, very methodical performance. We did get some boos during the fight from the crowd. A lot of people were displeasing. We'll get more into that later, but I did hear that. Not
Yeah,
not
I
backing the
mean,
crowd on it, but like we discussed earlier this week, Volkov definitely used that massive reach advantage very well against Waldo.
mhm.
Kept him at a distance. You notice him backing up a lot, then creeping in a little bit.
You
Volkov,
notice him desperately blitzing in, trying to land once it was getting down there in that third round, and he did
yeah,
win that round, but yeah.
no, yeah, which was
Volkov's,
wow,
Volkov might be like one of the most boring yet great fighters at heavyweight.
yeah,
He is the best of the like crappy heavyweights. You know what I mean?
yeah, he really
It's
is.
it's because he's slow and plotting. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
he's like, how Sean Strickland slows down a fight. Volkov really slows down a fight.
yeah,
And this thing, massive range, massive experience difference, and we were both like really highlighting that.
hmm,
Volkov's good. He's old, but he's good. And then Waldo, we told him we call I think we called it exactly. He has
yes,
two weapons, a left hand and a right hand,
yeah,
and they're fast hands, and if
yes,
they hit, they can hurt. But he had no way to set up his offense in close distance. Every
no,
time he got close, out Volkov punished him with leg kicks, checked the punches, and yeah, he made it. Hey, we're going to slowly take this into my fight. Waldo did bring it to him that third round, and if that was a 5 round fight, I think Volkov would have been in trouble there. Waldo was putting it on him at the end there. But again, I think it's pretty easy to say Volkov won round one and two and lost the third. I know some people, I think, arguing round one for Waldo. I don't think that is accurate.
no. I totally agree with you. That's not accurate at all. That's why I was like, I can believe there's controversy, but it's just not accurate.
And honestly, even in round three, when you look at it, Volkov, like you going on the UFC website, Volkov landed Costa in the third round too.
Yeah,
Even like three more significant strikes. Round two, 12 more significant strikes. Round one, like doubled the amount of strikes that Cortez was able to put on Volkov. He's like he's not fun to watch really, but he's good. He's really good.
Volkov's not fun to watch. Yeah,
He
you
also got
couldn't have said it any
completely
better.
robbed and beat uh, Surreal Gone in that fight.
Yeah.
And if he had, Volkov absolutely beat Surreal Gone in that fight. And what would he be on? Go ahead. I'm going to count this.
No, like I was saying,
Four.
like the first word I used for Volkov was very methodical performance.
Hmm.
This man is literally the definition in the Webster Dictionary of methodical and performance.
Hmm.
If you could use two words in once in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just counted it. If you were to give Volkov the win on that Surreal Gone loss,
Yeah.
he'd be on a 7 fight win streak right now.
Yeah.
His last fight again loss was against the champion Tom Aspinall. He's the frankly the in my opinion the real number one contender. Obviously you got Surreal versus Pereira coming up for the interim, so he's going to be behind that. And you got Tom, still injured. Hopefully he comes back
Yeah.
But Volkov, he kind of is owed a title at this point, a title shot. I don't think he's going to get it anytime soon, but
No.
I
He's
do
a
got a conspiracy theory for you.
go ahead.
But you got anything else on this fight?
No, Volkov definitely deserves a title chance within this fight or after his next fight, but with him being such a boring fighter, usually the UFC has always been
Yeah,
kind of leery about
he
boring
doesn't
fighters. Kind of
have.
same situation with Leon Edwards at one point. They just didn't
Yeah,
want to
I
push
mean
him.
Bilal Muhammad as well.
Bilal Muhammad, yeah.
Yeah. So here's my conspiracy theory.
What's that?
So we had Josh Hokick do the White House presser, picking
Oh,
fights
dear
with
gosh.
everyone on stage, telling Pereira that he's going to Chama and his mama,
Yeah,
getting Ilya Taporia trying to defend him, Sean O'Malley being the meme of the week, just in the middle of all that chaos, just
yeah,
cool as a cucumber. That was hysterical. And you had Dana White saying Josh got sorted out. I know some people calling UFC a little hypocritical for that. I actually kind of agree with Dana. It's like, look, like if guys have beef and they're fighting, it is what it is. I don't want any situations where two guys nowhere near the same weight class, never going to fight or getting into altercations at press conferences. Absolutely not. And you know what?
no,
He has a good point, but it does kind of feel like Josh Hokick only got kicked out because he was annoying. And
yeah,
let's keep in mind, he's only there because President Trump wanted Derek Lewis to be on the White House. And he
yes,
asked there, and Derek Lewis got on there, and who was the other heavyweight on that card that won a fight? You know what I mean?
yeah,
A toe kick. That's why he got the call. I think now there's the opportunity where Dana's like, okay, you know what? We're not going to do Josh Hokick on it. We are actually going to pull Josh Hokick off the White House card. Instead, we are going to put Alexander Volkov on the White House card and do the rematch of Volkov versus Derek Lewis, which I believe they last fought in 2018. That was actually on the Habib Connor card.
yeah,
Derek Lewis got the knockout, I believe, after Volkov beat him up for the majority of that fight. You know what? This is what you do when you got a guy like Volkov. He is owed the title fight. He cannot get the title fight. Put him on the White House card. Do the Russian versus American thing.
yeah,
And it's a rematch, but frankly, Volkov should be able to get this win. But Derek Lewis beat him once; he can do it again. I think that's do that fight. Meanwhile, put Josh Hokick into something like let's use this guy. I mean, honestly, I like Josh Hokick versus Waldo Costa Cortez. I was also looking at I'm trying to remember who it was. Um,
Josh Hoke at Waldo Cortez makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think put those guys against each other,
yeah,
you can do something, and then or like Josh Hokick's number 5. Put him against. You can put him against Pavlovich. You can put him against Spivak. Uh, you know, I think I don't care for Derek Lewis Hokick. I didn't care for that
you
fight.
know,
I like Volkov Derek Lewis more.
yeah,
And frankly, the problem with this is you can't tick because of how that fight got on there. It's not like you could take off the Derek Lewis part of that because I would say Volkov and Josh Hokick's also an exciting fight.
yeah,
And honestly, that's a tough fight for Volkov, to be completely fair.
yeah.
But let's get into this other boring wrestling fight on the card, but
Oh,
I loved it. Sean Brady gets back in the win column with a decision dominant win over Joaquin Buckley. Buddy, we were saying into this, hey, this is make or break for these guys' title relevancy. Um,
yeah,
it'd be 2 losses. There'd be whoever lost this fight is probably out of the top 10. And welterweight is so stacked and so full of killers that if you're going out of the top 10, who knows when you're going to be able to get the chance to get back up there because this division is full of killers. And like keep in mind we got Shavkat still on IR. when he comes in, he's still number one contender. And there's Michael Morales and Carlos Prates. And
Did
Ian
you?
Gary's still waiting for his shot. And you have the lurking legend, Kamaru Usman, still plucking around up here.
Yeah.
So it's like Sean Brady back in the win column. And you know what? But we talked so much about this fight. This is why it was so exciting. Brady got outstruck and damaged in his Morales loss. Buckley completely out wrestled by Kamaru Usman. This fight was who learned their lesson, buddy. We both made picks. I picked Brady, and guess what? Brady was the one who learned his wrestle. He took no chances on defeat with Buckley, and
Zero.
he dominated him 2-10-8 in that fight.
Yeah.
Completely dominated Buckley. And Buckley, hey, looking at his Instagrams and stuff, we don't wrestle here, only boxing, and it showed because he got dominated.
I've not seen a scorecard for a fight that was this lopsided in a minute, and also having a fight go to decision being that bad on the ground is crazy. Two 30-25s and one 30-27. I forgot the guy's name that gave the 30-27. Dude, one of those rounds was 100% a 10-8. I'm sorry. Like, that's just ridiculous not giving one of those rounds a 10-8. But I am
Hey, how do
liking
you
that
think this
UFC has been
total
giving out
fight?
more 10-8s lately. That has
I
been
do
making me
like it.
smile. We definitely needed to see more 10-8s in the UFC. Buckley, dude, your ground game is so far away from being in the UFC is not even funny. You just have to like
It's
hope.
trash.
Yeah, it's trash. You have to hope that the UFC only gives you striking guys. Is the only way of you being able to
He's,
succeed and get
he's going
anything
to
in it.
Kevin Holland himself.
Yes, exactly.
And like this guy's insanely good. Like
Yeah, that's the
Buckley is
crazy
a
part.
killer.
He is.
But bro, you gotta defend. You gotta work your grappling. I mean,
Yeah,
like, and if you're not, just go to BKFC.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Go to Game Bread MMA. Like,
yeah,
go
yeah,
kickbox if you want to
yeah.
kickbox. Go
Buckley
go
is.
one championship in Muay Thai if you want a Muay Thai. If you want to do MMA, learn to sprawl. Like I mean, and Sean Brady's a tough guy to beat. I mean, like
Yeah,
your first, but like you just got dominated by Kamaru Usman in wrestling, and Usman's knees are shot. And he's old. Sean Brady, I mean, hey, his chin is suspect. Just because he got past Buckley doesn't mean his chin cleared the test because he avoided all the strikes.
yeah,
And credit to Buckley, when the fight was on the feet, the few times it did, he only got 21 strikes off, but all 21 of those strikes, he was throwing leather at him.
yeah.
But yeah, Buckley got dominated. It's kind of pathetic, frankly.
Watching the fight live, I was like so upset at Brady because I really wanted Brady to like have one round. He kept it standing, but I don't blame Brady by any
No, he
means
could have got
necessary.
starched. Absolutely not.
Buckley is the guy that you want to have next to you in a street fight, but never bet money on him during a UFC event, especially after that performance. You're going to see people that have huge striking abilities just go try and take him down now, just because of
Yeah.
how bad his ground game is. Especially if a fighter only has one submission or no submissions, and they know that they have a chance of getting a submission on this guy, they might just go and try to get that rear naked choke just so they have that one submission on their record. It's because it was
So
just
who do you
that
like
bad.
these guys fighting each other? Because welterweight, I mean, these are they were 6-9. Brady 6, Buckley 9. They're probably both staying where they're at, or Buckley may be moving down. I don't see Sean moving up. Above Sean Brady, you have Bilal Muhammad at 5, Jack Della Maddalena at 4, and then Morales, Prates, and Gary at the top there.
Yeah,
Right below Brady, you have Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, and then Buckley. Going down from Buckley, you have Bonfim, Malad, Medic, MVP, Amasov, who just had an amazing win as well. So he should be moving up the rankings a little bit likely. And then Daniel Rodriguez ranking in the 15th spot. Where do you see these guys fighting next fights for them?
Mm. Well, who do you see? I'm gonna pull up on my phone and really think about it. I haven't thought about this in a
So
minute.
for Sean Brady, I've heard some people saying, um, put him against. Sorry, I've seen some people saying put him against Jack Della Maddalena, and I don't mind that. Get Brady back up in that top five. I think he's earned the shot after that dominating performance. That is a tough fight for him. Jack is good, but Jack's now coming off a two-fight losing streak, and Sean Brady definitely has some. He has some something to say about that. Brady's only other loss in the UFC is to Bilal Muhammad, who I also think would be a bad rematch. I believe Bilal is booked up with somebody here though. Gabriel Bonfim coming up. So, and again, Bilal also on a two-fight losing streak. And then there's for Brady, there's also Kamaru Usman. I think would be a more fun fight, maybe a little bit easier, still difficult.
Yeah.
However, because Usman does got power and he would be hard to take down. For Buckley, like you said, if you want to keep him in exciting fights, you got to put him against standing fighters. So, Eros Medic he's a guy that likes to stand and bang.
Yeah.
MVP, he makes fights boring, but it's going to be on the feed. And then there's also Leon Edwards, which would be kind of, I think, Buckley's last chance at a top 10 career there.
For me, for Buckley, I am definitely would like. If I was the UFC, I would give him MVP, but naturally, I'd go Medic personally. For Brady,
I think
uh,
Medic is the most fun fight.
correct. He's the most fun fight, but I think UFC is going to give him a little bit of an older guy like MVP. But for Brady,
I think MVP. I think the problem with MVP is MVP probably can win that fight.
yeah,
And if he does, and hey, MVP has broken out the wrestling before, famously against Paul Simtex Daily. Like he will, even MVP's like, I don't want to get knocked out by this guy. Will break out the wrestling when he needs to. It's kind of
well,
hysterical
MVP is
when
a
he
smart
does. But
fighter, but fun fighter.
and
MVP is always going
honestly,
to keep it up.
I kind of like the MVP thing because I think MVP should get up in the top of these. Like, let's push him on an actual title run. I would love to watch that with MVP because there's enough fun names where I don't think he's going to get to the top, but like we could have some fun with it. And I think Buckley would be a great step to try to again, the fights I want to see with MVP are frankly Buckley and Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
And honestly, Carlos Prates and Michael Morales against MVP would also be fun, but we're talking
Yeah.
about Buckley. So what are you saying for Brady?
Brady, you can't do Leon. That fight's already happened.
He already, yeah.
Um, I mean, if he really wanted to, I guess he still could, but I'm not. I'm not picking Leon. Kamaru Usman would definitely be a fun fight. Usman definitely had that big win somewhat recently.
Recently over Buckley.
Yeah, and with Brady getting another win, UFC always likes to put two people's wins together. It'll be a fun fight to see. I think it'll be a hard one for Usman, but same thing for Brady.
So my
I
problem
mean,
with
yeah, there's
so I like
a lot of weird ones. Bilal, Jack, Michael. Yeah, Usman's the only guy I could really
he
think
just
of.
he just lost to Michael, so that's not happening.
Yeah,
You could do Carlos Prates, but
no, UFC
I
won't
think
do
they're
that.
gonna make Prates Morales.
Yes,
Um, I don't mind the Bilal fight if Bilal gets past Bonfim, which I assume he will. I guess you
yeah.
could do the winner of Bonfim Bilal if Bonfim gets past, and because that'd be a new guy up in there.
Where's Bonfim ranked?
But
10?
number 10 right now, fighting Bilal.
Yeah,
But Sean does have the loss to Bilal. I wouldn't mind seeing those guys run it back.
yeah,
Have Sean avenge one of his losses is always good to, hey, you only got two of them, you can avenge them. Like, these are, a former champion and a top contender. These are completely fine.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like Bilal. Okay, especially if Bilal loses, he'd be on a 3-fight losing streak. I don't really care to watch that fight then. And
No.
Jack also being on a 2-fight losing streak, even though he's come, again, Protest and the champion, Islam Makhachev. There's no shame in that, but Usman makes the most sense because Usman's coming off of a win, right? You like guys who got wins together. You know what I mean? Versus a guy coming off of a 2-fight losing streak. I'd like to,
Correct.
I kind of wouldn't mind seeing all these guys kind of take some bounce back fights. You know,
I think
Buckley
we need
versus
to
Medic, Brady Usman.
Well, I think we need to see how some of these other fights plays out
Yeah.
and see how the division gets shaken up in the time being. Because I don't see
Welterweight, it
clear
is almost a whole new
Yeah.
division. Like the turnover it's coming now. It is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Welterweight is not the same as it was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Very much different. Want to get into the next one?
Yeah, let's get into King Green. Who got the RNC on Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
And aren't you glad I mentioned to you how
Yes.
long it's been since Jeremy Stevens won a fight
Oh, hang on,
in the
hang on.
UFC?
I saw that dang comment saying I only picked one out of the 5 fights. Nope. I picked King
No,
Green
he
to
was-
win.
No, he was clowning on another guy in the comments, not us.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I was like, wait, there's no way I only got 1 out of 5. I was like, hang on.
And apparently, that guy, I believe his user was Barack Trump. He got, according to him, he got everything right except for the main event. So, he picked Khamzat and lost because of Strickland. So he was again. We told him, hey, Strickland was going to win, but Barack Trump still got the wrong pick and didn't get the perfect 5 for 5. So he's still a loser, just like the rest
How
of us.
how are you the president twice or no 4 times?
I
still get it
don't
wrong.
know.
But anyways,
That's up for him to figure that little
this fight
reflection.
was when I thought about it more. When you were talking to me, you had a lot better of a points on this on last week's talk. Is exactly how I kind of expected it to end. I did not expect it to end in the first round by any means, but it's Jeremy Stevens. I'm happy. Looks like I saw him taking his gloves off. I didn't get to see if he actually threw him in the
I
ring.
don't know. I hope he goes back to BKFC.
Yeah. This is most likely will be the last time we see Jeremy Stevens fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
One heck of a career before this losing streak.
I mean, again, I love Jeremy Stevens. He's a fun fighter, but it's just like, bro can't get a win, and it's like he's exciting. He hauls ass and slings leather. You know what I mean? Like, he's a fun fighter, but it's like I think him just being he just can't get a win, and I just don't see why we can. I don't see how the UFC can keep him, frankly.
He has the abilities of somebody that was fighting in 2016, 2017, trying to fight in the new age of these people that are even faster, even better, more trained, more technology, and more. I don't want to say medication, but there's better doctors out there. They've been able to
just
really
the
help
better
these fighters out
standards
better.
of the sport.
Correct.
But here's the thing: he didn't even lose against one of those guys. He lost against Bobby Green. And no disrespect, Bobby Green's a killer, but there was a time where there was no chance Jeremy Stevens was going to lose to a Bobby Green.
No.
Like Jeremy Stevens made it much further than Bobby Green ever did, but now Bobby is in his late age. He is a killer of the veterans. He is so good and exciting. You know what's coming, and every time you love it. And I mean, like, I wish he could keep up with Charles Oliveira because I'd love to give that guy a BMF fight, but we know how that fight's going. He would get smoked, and this is where it's
I,
like,
you know what? UFC has done a lot of crazy things. Bobby Green, what, 3-fight-1 streak now, and he's
yeah,
been murdering people in those last 3 fights. They're not the biggest of names, but hey, I mean, King Green might almost even get ranked. I'm not gonna say he's gonna get ranked after Jeremy Stevens wins, but
so
yeah,
for
he's balling.
Aussie, Beneil Darush, Michael Chandler, Quillen Salkild, and Raphael Fiziev are the bottom,
Yeah.
outside the top 15 of lightweight. Does King Green beat any of them? You know,
That's the problem
when's
with
the
being in a
last time he
stacked
beat
division.
a guy of their quality? You go ahead. Last time he beat a guy of their quality would have
Oh,
been
it's been a
Al
long time.
Iaquinta back in 2021. He lost to
That's a
Fiziev in
weird.
2021.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad actually. Better than the Al. That's a better than the Al 2021. Um.
That's an old Al at that point.
Yes.
But yeah, like that's probably his best win, the Iaquinta. I mean, so it's like that's the thing. Like you like Bobby Green, and maybe you could do Bobby Green, Beneil Darush. Darush is definitely kind
Yeah.
of, not doing well, but that just kind of feels
No.
like a way to try to sneak,
The Neil back up.
Green into the rankings just to get killed by some other contender. Like,
One thing
I
I
mean,
love. One thing I love about Green, that man will fight anybody, anywhere. He really does.
he would fight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could keep
Honestly,
throwing him a
just
whole
do
bunch of
Green Nate
chumps.
Diaz.
Yeah, Green Nate Diaz would be fantastic, but not going to happen. Um,
Do you think Bobby Green should have got the bonus? I know some people are saying he deserved it.
yeah.
I think it's tough. I think like because who got all the bonuses? It was
Well, they need to do a separate bonus. It's not do at least like a 25K bonus for submissions.
but no, he still got the 25K for finishing.
He did? Okay. Because that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. I was like, wait, don't they? Yeah,
yeah, it's finish in general.
that's what I thought. But
Yeah,
for a
because the
second,
other bonuses,
the way you said it, I was like, maybe
yeah,
not. I was like, maybe it is just knockouts. But okay,
yeah, the
it is
performance
both.
bonuses were for Yaroslav Amosov and Jim Miller. Um, Jim Miller definitely, got it done with his own round one submission over Jared Gordon. Um, and then Yaroslav Amosov gave Joel Alvarez the business on the prelims.
Yeah,
Amosov's a threat in that division. I'm excited for him to
yeah.
move up as
They got
well.
him by
But
arm
yeah,
triangle too.
yeah, Amosov, the best guy we got from Bellator.
Yeah,
Pay attention to him.
yeah,
But yeah, King Green, I like watching him fight, man. But like, it's just like it's especially now. It's like, damn, who do we even want to watch him fight? Because it's like, I don't want him in the rankings, but like,
no.
if he's on a 3-fight win streak,
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the
I'm
problem.
like,
3-fight win streaks in the UFC, it gets pretty impressive. It's like, okay,
Darush,
yeah,
Beneil,
yeah.
that's probably the fight for that, right?
Yeah, Bino Dariush is definitely the fight you would want to make if you're the UFC and you're like, you know what, let's just give him a really decent. But let's actually see where exactly he is at. Is he actually
Yeah.
doing his random last push
I
in
mean,
his final
Beneil
days?
has no chin anymore, so
Yeah,
he is definitely a compromised fighter. But and it's one of those things. If he's losing to Bobby Green at this point, Beneil's done.
yeah.
Um,
It'd be one of those fights, and it'd be a fun one. They've both been in the ring a
but
long time.
they would
Two
have
veteran
fun in
fighters.
that fight for
Yeah.
sure. I think.
Anyways,
Um,
King Green, I'd like just for them to put just a fun fighter. Please don't give me a boring, methodical fighter against King Green. Just make it fun. I don't care who it is.
Ateba Gautier, I know we're on the prelims now, so we can be really quick. Destroyed Ozzy Diaz with overhand to hammer fist. Calls out Israel Adesanya. I don't think Izzy's going to take that fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw that, dude. Dude, this man is jacked out of his mind outside of that, but Izzy has never taken that fight from a 10-foot pole stick. I'm sorry, but like, it's just not going to happen. I mean,
Who would you like to
plus,
see him fight?
I
He's
mean,
5-0
Izzy
in the
could
UFC
possibly
now.
lose too. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Um,
He's 5
I,
and 0 in the UFC now. Who would you like?
gosh, that's insane. I can't believe he's 5-0 in the UFC right now. He's a middleweight, right?
Yeah. Do you give him RoboCop?
RoboCop would definitely not be a bad one. Um, you know what? I
What's
thought about
RoboCop
it
on?
during
Is
the
he
fight.
on
When I
War
watched
Fighter?
when I was watching him, I
Yeah.
was like, I would love to see him against Jared Cannonier for some odd reason.
That'd be good.
I think those two styles would match very well, and I think it could be definitely the head fight of a night or a co-main on a fight of the night. I think it'd just be a real fun fight to watch, or even an opening of a paper, not paper, well, a UFC numbered card. Him against Jared Cannonier.
Yeah. I think it's definitely good there. Yeah, RoboCop's on a 3-fight win streak himself there after his loss to Jared Cannonier. So
Yeah, that would work too.
I actually kind of like Gautier and RoboCop.
Yeah, either one works perfectly
Um,
fine.
Amosov again performs of the night, destroyed Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez is a good fighter, great striking, good submissions, no wrestling at all, and
Yeah.
Amosov just exploited him. Again, Amosov is a guy I wouldn't mind seeing him get bumped up in the rankings at welterweight too. And you could throw him in there with any of those guys we've talked about. I guess you could put him with Brady as well.
Yeah.
Even I think it's completely fair to try to rush him up the division. But frankly, that being said, I would like him to go against Leon Edwards.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. Gosh, it's funny that the whole prelims all had finishes. Oh,
Yeah,
not
I know, right?
not counting the early prelims, but I mean, Grant Dawson submission third round at 442. Freaking Jim Miller getting a first round
Yeah.
finish is insane.
Mateusz Rebecki completely using low IQ, allowing himself to get caught by the submission by
Yeah.
Grant Dawson in a fight he was losing.
Yeah.
Grant Dawson really going through a tough time this week. Lost um, his wife was pregnant. And they lost the child
Oh,
this week,
that's
so this
sad.
was a tough fight camp for them. Got the win, and he gave a quite the religious fire and brimstone speech there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he got a win. Hope he gets better. He is an interesting fighter. I know people don't like him. They say he's boring, but he's become a pretty good fighter. 12-2-1 in the UFC. I think he's another. I think he's one of those guys where it's kind of at that point. He did just come off that loss to Manuel Torres, but he was on a 3-fight win streak before that.
Yeah.
I think he's another one of those guys where you can kind of start throwing him in there at the. He lost to Bobby Green, so maybe you could do the rematch there. But he's another guy where I think he's kind of now there, finally getting close to that top ranking of what do you call it? Lightweight.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
very much so.
Talked about Jim Miller, got the guillotine. He just signed a new 5-fight deal. So he
Crazy.
will, if he does all 5 fights, he would have done 51 fights in the UFC. An insane thing, though I don't think he's going to make it to UFC 400. A little too far away for that one.
No, it ain't gonna
Um,
happen. But shout out to Jim Miller, one of the funnest, best, not I don't want to say necessarily entertaining, but true
lowest
true man of the sport.
Lowest fight IQ on the card, Roman Kopylov, despite his best effort, wins the decision against Marco Tulio. Um, you know, wins at the striking and decides now it's time to wrestle when the guy's hurt. What
Yeah.
a true gentleman and a scholar, but always in an exciting fight. Pat Sabatini, that was a boring wrestling fight against William Gomez, and he could just not get it done. And I don't have anything about these last two on the cards. But
Um,
overall, I got to give this card a B plus. It was great. What do you think?
B plus. Yeah, I give it like it. At points for me, it was A. At points for me, it was like a B. So yeah, I need
Yeah.
to write in the middle about B
I
plus.
feel like we needed some finishes on the main card to
Yeah,
get that
that's all
A
we were
plus.
missing.
I can't give it, I can't give it an A plus with, you know,
Sean
I get
Strickland
we
got like a
did get
knockout, we would have got an A.
we did get Bobby Green and Joshua Van coming in with those great finishes, but Strickland Shamaev decision, Volkov Cortez decision, Brady Buckley decision, and none of those fights too exciting.
No.
But that is our UFC 328 card. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe this around. We got more coming to you because this is still a giant fight week. It does not stop just because the PLE is over. We
Yeah,
got Arnold Almighty Allen going up against Melky Costa
there's gonna be a
in
banger.
Las Vegas.
Las
But
Vegas.
that ain't
Real
even
quick, everybody, before we log off, we are going to be dropping one of our things off for a time being until we get more going. So we will not be on Spotify anymore. We're just going to pause that. It's not going to go away, but we'll
yeah.
continuously release on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are our three that are doing fantastic and great for us. Nobody's just
Yeah.
listening on Spotify. We're literally at like a 28,000 to 1 view ratio from YouTube to Spotify. It's like insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, thank you guys for the seriously watching. I mean, obviously this we have gotten the most engagement since we've started the channel this week with Shemaev and Strickland, and it's a giant fight card this week. Like I was just saying, because we got Allen versus Costa, but that ain't even the biggest fight of the week. We got Rousey Carano and
Yeah.
the MVP card on Netflix, which I absolutely will be breaking down. Kelby, we're going to have to do another video this week.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
my
gonna
God,
be we're
two.
gonna be doing we'll most likely do a specific video just on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Keep an eye
Yeah.
out Friday, I think, for that one.
Yeah.
But we this is a big fight. When frankly, it's just going to keep going. We got Song Yadong Figueiredo coming up. We got Bilal Muhammad Bonfim coming up, and then we have a UFC Freedom 250
Yeah.
on June 14th. After that, we have Cape and Horiguchi, and then we're going to get into July shortly after that, where International Fight Week is going to happen. And buddy, do you hear the rumors?
What's that?
Holloway versus McGregor.
Yep.
Chael Sonnen says it's the one fight that is the worst thing to do ever with Conor McGregor. Why would you make a guy who we already saw this fight?
Yeah.
Why would you give Conor something we've already seen? And not even at 170, the guy's a 45-pounder. Chael Sonnen says it's a terrible, stupid idea, and it made me laugh. But we got so many fights. So thank you so much for being part of Flamingo Fight Talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to just keep doing this, keep having fun. We're focusing our efforts onto YouTube and on social medias. When we're chatting out there, hey, I like to talk in the comments. Everyone, if you talk in our comments on YouTube, we will respond. I will chat with you. If someone starts roasting your picks, I will come to your defense. I've done it. That's why I was talking to my friend Barack Trump, who allegedly got 4 out of the 5 picks. He's just talking. He was bullying the one guy who only got 1 out of 5. But, hey, we say our picks beforehand. We put it on the table. If you guys join us in the live chat, you too can get it on the table and really be able to lay into us when we say something stupid.
Hey,
Kelby, I
everyone,
think that is a podcast.
peace.